Alright, this is Rengar. I got requested to do Rengar Masteries for Season 6. This is still preseason, they just patched. So, basically, if you're doing Rengar Jungle, that's different, obviously, than Rengar Lane Mastery. So, this is all fairly straightforward, but over here I wanted to touch on I take the bonus armor and magic resist. This actually stacks up with Rengar's empowered W. So I think that's a good choice on him, and also the 12 movement speed in Brush and River is particularly good on Rengar because of his passive, of course. It doesn't mean that you don't want to go Wanderer, perhaps, to get quicker movement speed when you're trying to ult someone, or if your ult counts as combat. I'm not actually sure. So Rengar mains, you'll have to figure that one out for yourself. But this setup I see being good right now, and you could go a couple points in health regen, or you could go all points in health regen if you really wanted. Those are interchangeable in my mind. Um, so yeah, again, same thing here, except that if you're jungler, you're gonna want more points in savagery because it does more damage. So maybe at some point people will have this figured out to a point where you know that it's better to always put 2 points in wanderer. But as of right now, I'm gonna put every point in savagery because I can see it being useful to clear jungle quicker. And then, of course, Runic Affinity as opposed to Secret Stash because you want the buff duration to be longer. Ever since they nerfed them down to 2 minutes 30 seconds, any buff duration is really good. So, Runic Affinity is pretty good. And the buff also includes epic monsters, so there's going to be like some weird things with buffs this season where people's buffs will time out at different times. You won't necessarily know when or why. Okay, in this mastery, I'm assuming that Rengar's Q is affected by sorcery. If it's not, then obviously you go attack speed. So until I know a little bit more about that, I can't say for sure. But that would obviously work on Bola and W as well. And since those have pretty high base damages, that might actually be a better choice. You're not going to need too much attack speed on Rengar because of his Q, granting attack speed. And Double-Edged Sword is an obvious choice because this is a much more buff version than we're used to. Melee only takes 1.5% damage, and you deal an additional 3% damage. Range is still pretty lackluster, but it is more accessible just based around the fact that there's a lot more lifesteal for ranged carries now. So you can use Double-Edged Sword confidently if you're an aggressive player. So I'm not exactly sold on taking 2% more damage in lane, but for for jungle Rengar, this mastery makes sense. So, and out of these two, I probably would opt for natural talent because the 10 and 15, whatchamacallit, ability power and attack damage. Actually, I probably would put the points in life steal. Natural talent doesn't look that strong to me now that I'm looking at the numbers. Yeah. Okay, so oppressor. When you stun someone with your empowered bola, you're gonna do an additional 2.5% increased damage to them. So if you're looking to snowball, then you pick uh maybe bounty hunter because you deal a lot more damage after you've killed everyone on the enemy team. But like, let's say you wanted to uh, eke out a win. Like this is going to be a better mastery when you're behind. Let's say you got 0 kills. This mastery is worthless. So oppressor is probably the better choice for anyone that has stun or CC, lots of CC on the team. You just get that guaranteed 2.5% increased damage, but that also is going to go away when they're not CC'd. So I actually think Bounty Hunter would be good too, but strictly from the thinking that you could fall behind at some point, Oppressor is the better mastery. And then obviously you're gonna want armor penetration, unless you just want a little bit of magic penetration, but I don't see why you would. Mainly the armor penetration just to blow someone up. Critical strikes, that might be a little bit more accessible to Rengar now, but I still don't see it being that great. Even if you go crits, Fervor of Battle is much better mastery, and Deathfire Touch is more for mages, so this would be my complete mastery set for uh, Jungle Rengar. Now, if I was gonna go lane, then it'd probably look a little bit different. Yeah, I might even just throw all that in attack speed anyway. If you're jungling, I don't actually think that it makes a difference which one you take. Yeah, if I'm laning Rengar though, I probably would take Sorcery. Killing a unit restores 20 health, 20-second cooldown. I'm not convinced Rengar needs that, so double-edged sword, even for lane Rengar. Then the lifesteal and spellbam, of course. Then I would take Bounty Hunter because you have access to a lot more gold as lane Rengar, and then Fervor of Battle, of course. Alright, so health regen is pretty big in lane, so again, I would go for Explorer because that's really good on Rengar to get extra movement speed in the brush. And also, it gives you, river movement speed as well, so like the whole area with brush leading up to each other will just be really nice. I probably would take Veteran Scars here. Runic Armor has the potential to be decent. I think Rengar's W works off his total health anyway, so Veteran Scars might be the better choice. It'll make you tankier. While Runic Armor would be like when you want a lifesteal tank someone, that would be like a really good mastery. That's mainly for AD carries though, if they choose to go that route. And let's see here. Lane Rengar. Maybe Flash Ignite or something. That'd be like super good for in lane. And then Perseverance would be just good if you're never using your W for sustain and you just want to kind of chill out. But I think Insight would be better to take. And to give you an alternative to that, just in case you wanted to go down the Cunning Tree instead. Actually, no, I wouldn't. I take that back. So, Rengar Masteries. This is it.